So I'm out here in the shop and I am getting ready to build some raised beds. Part of my bigger, badder, more awesome garden this year that I expanded last year just by getting it ready and planting a cover crop. But part of the, before I can really get started, it's still way too cold to actually do any gardening or anything. So what I'm going to do as part of my plan is I'm going to add 6 raised beds to the garden area. I'm going to put them on one end of the garden just in case. Hopefully sometime in the future I can get a tractor that has a tiller attachment, so I'm not doing it by hand, because now the garden is going to be roughly 50 foot by 50 foot. That's a lot of tilling, especially when you have to go over it multiple times. But I want to build some raised beds on one end of it. That way you can still manage to work the whole area without going around obstacles in theory. So that's what I'm doing. Is I'm out here in the shop. I'm going to start cutting some wood, but I wanted to show you kind of the plan on paper and show you kind of how my mind thinks, which is a scary place for most people, and I'll show you why I did it and why I'm not doing it, because it was a stupid idea. And so I caught it at the last minute, and I'm going to start cutting some wood and show you what I got. So here's my master plan that I came up with. I don't know how well you can see this, but what it's overall going to be is this down here. So I'm going to have a series of 3 beds here, 3 raised beds here, a 4-foot walkway, and then 3 more raised beds here. They're going to be 8 foot long each one and 4 foot wide going in the depth. So I'll have 24 feet here, and then I'll have 24 foot here, and then I'll have a 4 foot. So that all equals up to 52 feet, and that will fit perfectly. So what I did was I started doing outside end caps, because you gotta think that the wood is 1.5 inches. I'm using 8-inch wide, 8 foot long boards. So each board is 1.5 inches. Even though they're 2x8s, they're really only 1.5 inches thick. So I added 3 inches here to accommodate that, so it'd be exactly 4 foot wide. So 48 plus 3, 1.5 inches on one side, 1.5 inches on the other side. That's how you get 51. And then on the inside of these raised beds, as you go, so this would be 51 inch, this would be 48, this would be 48, and the inside dimensions would be exactly 8 foot long, 4 foot wide. Okay, and then I started looking at what I got. So over here, I was going to have to use 4 boards for my 51-inch cuts, and then the rest is drops. So I end up with 4 boards at 45. And then I'd need a total of 18 boards, and I've already bought the boards. I have 16, so I was going to have to run out and get 2 more boards. But I tell you what, that doesn't make any sense. So, executive decision here. Why 3 inches isn't going to hurt anything. So instead of cutting my boards 51 inch and 48 inches and having so much leftover wood, why not just make them 48 inches and 45 inches? Yeah, that way the overall bed will be on the inside, it'll be 45 inches wide instead of 48, and they'll still be 8 foot long each. The 3 inches I'd have 4 pieces of 45 inch long, just to store for another project, and I've got lots of just spare wood from a lot of projects. I don't need more spare wood, so I'm going to do it 48 inches on the ends with 45 inches in between, and that way it'll be exactly 4 foot by 8 foot, but that's the outside dimensions. It'll be 45 inches by 8 foot. on the interior. And I tell you what, I don't know why I was doing that, but instead of having 4 pieces of 45-inch drops wasted or just hold on for another project, I'm gonna have 4 of these. I already cut one, so I'm wasting this much wood. And I don't know if you've priced these or not, but these 2 by 8 by 8 pieces of wood they're not cheap. So I just saved myself from buying 2 of those. So I'll get to cutting these pieces. I need 4 48-inch and I need 4 45-inch, and just going to use my sliding chop saw here to make the cuts, and then we'll start the overall building process with the 2x4s, and I'll explain the 2x4s when we get to that portion. All right, I've got 2 of my boxes built, my raised bed boxes built, and I got 4 more to go. This would be a perfect time for me to show you how I'm building them and let you see what I've done so far. A lot of times it's a lot easier for me just to, I think, see how someone built it, especially when it's a box. It's nothing that crazy hard. So let me show you what I've done. I've done a little bit of a change from my other boxes, and I'll explain to you why. All right, so here's the 2 boxes that I've built. If you notice, I'm going to use my finger here to point this out. This right here, you can see it's between the boards. So that's the 45-inch. That's a 45-inch. And then on the end there, that's the 48-inch. So that's the way you can keep your boards completely exactly straight. Now, if you look in the corners here on this first box, you can see that the little corners that I used to help sturdy this up, I've got it where I've got it nailed and screwed on the ends. So I screwed this long piece here into this long piece here, and then I can go back and also screw in some more screws here and on the other side there on that long piece, and that works out real well. And that's the way I've always built my boxes, but I changed it up this time. If you see, I did the same here, but over here, this little end piece is going this direction, and I found that to be a little bit better. The first box, it doesn't matter. In fact, I think for the first box, maybe the end box, I'm going to continue doing it the way that I've always done it. But for once you start getting into these middle brackets and such, and then you're attaching a board to another board, I think it's a lot better to actually have the little piece, little 2x4 piece going this direction versus this direction. So I'm going to continue doing that, like I said, with the non-end pieces. So I've got 1 more to build here that I haven't finished, so that one's not actually even screwed in, that's just loose. But I'm going to continue this process. I got 1 more, and then I've got I'll have a break, and then I'll have 3 more, and I'll show you what exactly what I'm talking about, because that sounds crazy. But anyway, got this going on. Hopefully I can knock this out here. Maybe if Badger helps and get some of this wood pulled out here, we'll get this knocked out today. And one thing I did want to mention is, if you use all screws, that's the best way to go. It takes quite a bit of screws to build these. I put 3, 6 for every corner, 7 really, at least 7 screws in each corner. So when you're talking about each corner of each piece, that's a lot of screws. So what I do is not the best, let me get out of the sun here, not the absolute best way, but the fastest, and I think it's just almost kind of as good, is I put screws and nails. So I use my air nailer, little framing nailer, and that way I can pop some nails in there, but I also use screws in the most critical parts, because screws do hold a lot better than nails. Nails will eventually work their way out. And so whenever you're joining the wood together, when in doubt, use a screw. If you know, if you can kind of get by with half as many, you're just going to save that much more money and time, in my opinion. The nails that I'm using are 3-inch nails, galvanized for outdoor use. That's important. Exterior nails, and the screws, same thing. Exterior are 2.5-inch, and that's just because that's what I have. The boards are, again, 1.5 inches thick, so you need to really your optimal length would be just under that 3-inch mark. With the nails, they drive flush. With the air nailer, with the screws, I drive them in even further than I countersink them. So, but I think that's a good little tip for you. You always want to go for, not really the 3-inch, or it could punch out the other side. As far as your screws go, nails, like I said, they're pretty much just flush. So that's what I'm using. Well, I got my boxes built right before the rain hit. We got about a week of solid rain. It is just a nasty, muddy mess out here, but I did get the boxes built just in the nick of time. I still got to do a little bit more work with them. You can see they're not exactly straight with each other, and I got to level the furthest one from the site here, the further mega box. So all 6 boxes are built. Just got to do a little bit of tweaking, get it a little bit more level, and then go from there. I'll be filling these boxes with a mixture of just regular dirt and compost, but I'm glad I got them built. And this is phase 1 of getting more vegetables in the garden this year. This is the right next to, adjacent to the new garden plot. So now just got to wait on it to dry out so that I don't ruin what little bit of yard I got. That get out here with some, I'll probably have to get Berth out here to help me raise up the end so I can dig out and get them level and get them looking right. Here's another view of the just a little better angle here. This is the one I was telling you I got to do the most work on, and you can see right along, let's see, where's my finger, right here. It just kind of goes uphill from there. The rest of them's pretty good. Just a little bit of work needs to go over here on this end. You can see a little daylight, but I'm pretty proud of how flat they ended up being. I'm not going for perfect here, I'm just going for garden. So like I said, I'll have to do a little bit of something to this and dig down on the far end to get it more level. I've got to move this one here so that it lines up. I'm just kind of that way because I see it from the back door of the house, and they're not exactly perfect, so I want to fix that. And then this one right here, it's good to go. But just wanted to kind of give you another angle here to show you exactly what I was meaning when I said I need to level them out a little bit better than what they are, because my dirt and everything will just wash out from under that one. You can see the amount of water we've gotten for a week of rain, solid rain for a week here. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out real quick. Well, as you can see, building these boxes, there's nothing real hard about it. It's actually really easy. So I would suggest that you get out there and build some boxes so that you can have some raised beds. This is something you can do on any type of scale. You don't have to have 6, you can have 16, or you can have 1. It doesn't really matter. I hope that following along in this video, I showed you at least how to build a box for a raised bed garden. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the bottom of this video. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible as far as if anything that I left off. The The advantages to having a raised bed are there's plenty. I won't get into all of them, but it's very rewarding. The 6 beds that I just put together, that gave me over 180 square foot of additional gardening that I can do, in addition to the in-ground garden that I have. So it allows me a little bit better rotation of certain crops. Gives me a lot of versatility that you just don't get with the in-ground garden. So I'm excited about them. I'm ready to use them. So I've got to now get them filled up with some dirt and compost and get to planting. So I will show you when I start doing some planting in the new, bigger, badder raised beds that I just built that this video is about, and also on the garden that will start to hopefully take shape here before too long. So if you would, please like and subscribe on this video. Join our little family. We're always doing something. It doesn't really matter what it is. You can see I do a little bit of everything on this channel. It's just showing you what we do from a kind of a week by week basis. So if you would, like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to our small little family here, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Thanks for watching.